brethren in the temple of truth. Dear Templars, I believe you have read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcasts. Now, like the broadcast, share it to invite your friends, your not so friendly friends, your frenemies, the enemies that pretend to be your friend. Those are the people called the frenemies. Tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live with another interesting episode. And if you have done that already, thank you. Now sit back, okay? Relax while I unpack the the package for tonight. It is also loaded and it is political. On Mayegun's diary, political. It's politics. So tonight, we are taking a dive into the exchanges between all the political camps in the contraption called Nigeria. The first person to steer the hornet nest is Peter Obi. And since yesterday, in a short, interview, it seemed that he has riled the SPV boys again, the Atikulooters online alimajiris. But before we get fully into it, let me give you a bit of, proviso, right? And that is, in Nigeria today, the most prominent and the most active political base as an opposition is the base of the obedient. Give it to them. You may not like them. Of course, they are the true and the realest disruptors. From 4 people tweeting in a room to a national threat to the national criminals in that contraption. And there are those who don't like them because they don't like them for one thing. Why was Peter Obi the beneficiary of the anger of this majority of Nigerians who have formed the real opposition? Because in Nigeria, except during elections, politicians are friends. And I'm talking about not just like they are friends, okay? They are in the same camp. Usually after elections, politicians from the opposition party will begin to join the main party, the ruling one, to share the spoil of war, which is the spoil of election, rather. However, we know they give shishi, we know they collect shishi camp. The camp of the tired, angry, frustrated, disappointed, dejected, traumatized, brutalized, bullied, abused Nigerians who camped in a camp called the obedient camp. In their last election, they were declared third, even though majority of them believed that Peter Obi actually won the election. However, they have remained very, very consistent. They have remained very, very active. And they have remained with Peter Obi. While those who are also Nigerians, but they are SPV boys, these are young men who have somehow, right, submitted their life ambitions, their life purposes to the cash and carry of PDP and Atiku and their gang. So they are like the first sworn enemies of this obedient. The Ronukus, on the other hand, they are not many, but they are very loud. Their last election showed that as much as they are so loud, they are very few. They do not even have the number to make anybody press idiot without their, their compromised INEC. Again, using facts now, all right? Not just emotions, okay? Indeed, before the 2023 charade called elections, the main opposition to APC in Nigeria, they are Nigerians. I'm talking about the victims of bad governance in Nigeria. Starting from the 2020 EndSARS protest, the rage and the anger, especially when they were told, if they were not comfortable with the way APC was running Nigeria, they should go and form political party and contest election. Now, they took it personal. So, Peter Obi inherited that, give it to him. And normally, after election, like I said, everybody just go back to their lives. They just kind of like face their lives and until the next one. There is no real, there's no real visible opposition per se. And that is why, if you want to be honest to yourself, you watching me right now, you will know that these obedient guys, they remain the existential threat to everything APC or PDP represents, especially APC. Sometimes you'll be wondering that, in 1999, it was Obasanjo Olufalaye, right? Nobody remembers who was the third. Who came third in 1999? I don't remember the person. In 2003, it was Obasanjo and Bukwari. I don't remember who came third. Do you? In 2007, it was Yaradua versus Bukwari. Okay, I remember who came third. It was Atikulooters. Then in 2011, it was Jonathan and Bukwari. I kind of remember who came third. It was Ribadump, right? Then in 2015, it was Bukwari, Jonathan. I can't remember who came third. In 2019, it was Atikulooters and Bukwari. I don't remember who came third. Oh, you see this 2023, it will go down like in history as the most controversial election that, kept Nigerians more divided. And every day, the camps of, for example, the camps of Tifnumbu, it's like, if you want to trigger them, okay, or put it this way, they do not actually really exist without pointing out Peter Obi this, the obedient that. So this obedience remains the existential political threat to the point that the APC are so worried of this Obi that they are afraid that his utterances, whenever he criticizes them, right, they are afraid that his utterances could trigger his base, and that could lead to the breakdown of law and order in Nigeria. They are not as worried of Obi as they are. So they are not as worried of about Atikulooters as they are of Obi. I'm trying to kind of be real here now. All right, this is their politics in that place. Enough that some people feels like if Peter Obi is touched by Tifnumbu and his gang, that it may actually trigger something. Again, people believe that. So, while others believe that, in fact, it was the division between the PDP, which is Obi, Atikulooters, that gave credence to the Tifnumbu's rigging and emergence. And the Atikulooters boys, the SPV boys, they are never going to forgive Peter Obi and the obedient. If you are a very active person online, you will understand all of this I'm telling you right now, okay? From the impression that Peter Obi, right, or the obedient, to precise the obedient, right, they were just 4 people tweeting in a room. They are irrelevant to what later played out in 2023. That then put Peter Obi and his obedience, right, in a very good stead that whoever cuts them believes that he is cutting the big fish politically. That now that they are talking about coalition for 2027, there is this belief, not just from the, in fact, this belief of coalition is not even coming from Peter Obi or his obedient. This coalition idea is coming from the same SPV boys, special purpose vehicle, that's what is called SPV. The Atikulooters, the articulated mugus, the articulated morons, young boys that have mortgaged their own future for political peanuts, for political crumbs, like those who are also running after the roads in APC. These guys were all over the social media pre-2023, telling everybody who cared to listen of how Atiku had 11 million votes in the bag. How Atiku, right, was, how Atiku brought Peter Obi to political limelight. Then after the 2023 charade, they somehow simmered. However, they loathe disobedience so much. So the taunting of one another, the taunting of each other online never ceased. So then they started the conversation about coalition. Opposition should come together. We should come together so that we can remove Tifnumbu. Now the problem is that the Syria contester, Atiku, still want to contest again, right? Again, like I said, the Atikulooters, the articulated mugus, the articulated frosters, right? They didn't care that a Fulani man from northern Nigeria was completing 8 years. All they care about was power. That for them to return to power, it must be another Fulani man from northern Nigeria, and that must be Atiku. All right. So the desperate Atiku, it was the desperation of Atiku that brought Nigeria to this state. So don't forget that. In 2014, right? Having felt like, who the hell was Jonathan? It's somebody from Niger Delta, from Bayelsa. That Providence pushed him to become president. Right? Now he is the leader of PDP, where I am, So that was what led to the machination of destroying PDP that gave them whatever, clout, political clout they all have, right? And I think they promised him that it was Tifnumbu and Co, right? That if he joined them to chase Jonathan away, all right, there will be a chance for him to be the next president. So it was not it was not concerned in destroying that same PDP. Then, no, only for him to get played. Now, he couldn't wait for Jonathan's to complete his own second term then, right? Because he felt like the power must return back to the north. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for the schemers, it was Bokwari they chose. So that was how he missed out. Since then, he has become a Syria contester. He just want to be president. It's just all about returning to power. It's about the power. I have to get that power like we can give me power, give me power, give me power. It's never about Nigeria. No matter how much no matter how much they act or pretend, it is never about Nigeria. I mean, you can pretend to some extent and pretend that, oh, it's about the people and the rest of that. But when you look at the desperation of Atiku, that brought Nigeria to this state, that gave Nigeria to APC, to what all of you are suffering today, right? His desperation is still pretty much like like somebody on steroid. So most of these SPV boys, the Atikulooters, they are Southerners. To them, they want to be special advisor to the president. They will prefer to become PA, SA on social media. They are okay with that. However, the only stumbling block is this Obi. So they said that in 2022, Was it? Yeah, 2022. When it was a chance for them to actually really work something called the coalition of opposition. Atiku's interest came to play again. Where Werewike, the guy that looted River State to fund PDP in the absence of Atiku, also got played. In fact, before Werewike got played, this Peter Obi, the man that is talking about economy, talking about, you know, all these nice ideas, they said he had no money. He had no money to actually win any primary election against Atiku, because having no money in this regard simply means you must have enough money to bribe delegates who are the ones empowered to choose who will be the candidate of a party. So eventually they chased him out. So the SPV boys went all around to denigrate him, right? To kind of like mock him, laugh him, and the rest. So when after 2023, right, and they realized that, man, it could have been a different ball game. So they started the talk of coalition again. We need to come together. But for the SPV boys, Atiku must be the candidate, because according to them, for power to return to them in PDP, forgetting about Werewike is still there. For power to return to us, it's all about power. The 2027 charade must be led by Atiku. And I think when, this was yesterday, when Peter Obi himself was accosted after a meeting that he had with his obedient guys, he was asked that, listen, we have been hearing about coalition of people coming together to remove Tifnumbu. Coalition. And the guy was like, listen, I am not interested in any coalition that is all about grabbing power. If the idea behind coming together of opposition is just to grab power for people who have lost out of the power sharing and all of that, then I am not interested. I'm not part of that. Now, this is a very simple statement, in my own opinion. But if you have seen the reactions of the Atiku's boys instead, or more, you will think Peter Obi actually shot Atiku on the street of Oka with a live bullet. They have been taking different rhetorics since then, in which, like I said, if you are not online, if you are not very active online, especially on Twitter, X, what I'm saying to you right now may just kind of be sounding like, okay, what are you trying to say? So they have resorted back to the status quo. Stuff like, you know, I think we should just forget about this guy. He's so full of himself. You know, we should just go and talk to other opposition party that are ready to form coalition. What nonsense! Did he think that he himself can go it alone? I was like, it's a very simple one. Is your coalition about taking power, like they did in 2015, which was about just grabbing power? It was never about Nigeria. It was about these individuals, right? Except for those who lost out, right? Nigeria's economy was doing not bad. Nigeria wasn't like great. It wasn't this horrible. Now, with what APC has done in the last 9 years, right? But they all came together. They made you realize that the insecurity, right? The economy, they were kind of like a push all kind of agenda, and it was all just to grab power. Now they grabbed the power only to make mess of the entire country. More people get slaughtered, more people kidnapped. Terrorism became an industry. The same terrorism that triggered a lot of you, that you would, if you were allowed to actually like lay your hands on a Jolantan that time, you would have torn him into pieces, into shred, because you felt like the way Nigeria was going, Nigeria will soon become like almost Somalia. Now you are worse than Somalia. APC destroyed Nigeria economy, destroyed Nigerian industries and what have you. And now the energy that you had in 2014, 2015 of your one Nigeria, the energy is now dead. So if people are now like, they've been out of power for 9 years, you get? Now it's all about we need power. We have to take power from Tifnumbu, which is practically what is going on. When you listen to apart from all of them agree, kind of speaking like Nigeria is worse now, the situation, ask them what they intend to do different. Ask them what they intend to do differently. That is where you are going to realize that there is no substance. There is nothing other than they just wanted the power. Some will tell you